Welcome to Stuck in My Mind podcast, the show where we dive into the mind of a regular guy on his road to self-discovery. You'll hear everyday people just like you share the latest topics, personal stories, and things they've learned along the way. And now, please welcome your host, Wise.
And welcome to another episode. I am your host, W-I-Z-E. I have a very special guest. He's an artist, educator, author, coach, podcaster, creative advisor. Welcome to the show, Michael Magruce.
Magruch.
Yeah, Magruch. I don't even know why.
Don't worry about
it. And we went over this, didn't we?
Don't worry.
Magruch.
Yes. What is this? What was that?
That's me, and I'm about to silence that. I'm sorry. I apologize. But anyway, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here. I was looking forward to this because we have similar, revelations. We have similar wisdom that we pulled out of being human, being a human animal, right?
Yeah. We was talking a little bit offline, yeah, and we was discussing a lot of things, and
Wait a second. I don't want the air conditioner. You want to start again? I'm sorry.
No. Listen. This is what happens. This is real life.
Yeah, this is what happens.
I've had me get kicked out, and my guests have to hold the show down till I got back on. So listen, I leave it in. I leave it in because I want people to see that this is real. This is authentic.
Yeah, this is real.
We're just here to have a great conversation. I love doing my podcast.
Yeah.
I want people to realize I'm just a regular guy doing something I find amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. Podcasting is absolutely amazing because I think it's the pushback from all that system conditioning, all that, we are so conditioned. Remember, it's not like it just happened a year ago. We grow into when we were born, we're basically stepping on an elevator, and whatever that store is, if it's, Home Depot or Macy's, that's what we think the world is, and we don't know anything else. And systems want to hold us in that,
Yes.
And that's what I was saying before, because they're so limited. We created the systems. Human and nature was not created by us. Yeah. So the system were created by us. So they're limited. They're not so individual as we are. And they had to separate us, I don't know why, into first man and woman, then into race, and now, as you know, recently into sexuality. So they can deal with us. I have no clue what that means, how they could manipulate us. It's just it's a crazy world. And systems are great because they're supposed to keep us safe, keep us in peace. Like when you create a family, you're not creating a family because that we have problems. You create a family to experience being a human being, and that's the smallest system, right? And
systems are great, but it's just when the system is not working for you. It's just when the system is working against you instead of instead of having it work for you and build togetherness. Yeah. It's like, that's why I feel like when podcasters come on, they're the ear to the streets. They're the people who are down there in the streets, especially independent podcasters who talk about what's going on in everyday struggles.
Yeah.
They're in the community.
Yes.
None of these big media outlets are in the community. They're going to promote what they want to promote, their agenda. And so being a podcaster gives me an opportunity to show people what's out there, other things besides what they want to show you.
Mm-hmm. And it's absolutely true. And I think it's important that we learn from other humans, not from systems about humans. See, the system has always an agenda and needs to make money. So when they talk about, any community, they have to create interest. And they say, white people are bad, black people are good, or vice versa, or Asian people are smart, or they're cunning, or whatever. They have to prepare it so people get curious. And I think that's completely the off way. It got too strong. We gave too much power to systems, but because we grew up in those and we were so conditioned. And what's important is, uh, I look at it just by my logic, because I could never fit in any system, because I was a sick child and I was dyslexic. And I still, to this day, I cannot fit into systems. Not that I don't, I worked into systems and everything, but I couldn't um, contribute my value as a human to systems. I did, but not to systems, or very to in systems. I don't, my value is not very valuable, so for systems, or at least they don't see it.
Yeah.
So I had to find my own value. I have to find my own, and I find it throughout. I found it through art, because I couldn't fit in any community other than the art community where I was okay. And art always made me feel like a human being. I mean, listening to music, I mean, I grew up in soul music times. I mean, when I listen to Stevie Wonder or Marvin Gaye or Temptations or whatever, it just that made me feel I'm a human being, you know. And I felt always out of place in school. I failed school. I I wasn't a rambunctious child or anything. I really tried. I'm kind of a personality, I tried to go. I had tutors, everything. I just couldn't comprehend it. I stuttered. I couldn't read. I couldn't write. I still have a hard time reading, but I wrote 5 books. So I had to literally learn everything by myself. And that's why it seems like I've got self confidence. I have it because I had to learn it myself. I was thrown out and says, fend for yourself. And art was the thread that got me through surviving and always feeling that I can be human, that it is possible that people like stuff of mine, that I can contribute to a team of creative people.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because for me, I I didn't know I didn't know my purpose. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Pretty I have a pretty good career. I get paid to play games. So, but I didn't truly find my purpose.
Mhm.
And once I finally pressed record and decided to release the podcast and do my podcast and be able to go speak to people and have these great conversations and all that, that kind of awoke this creative side of me that I didn't really know that I had. It's not something that I was always into sports and all these other things and all that, but it opened up the side of me that I enjoy so much, being able to create content, be able to learn new things. I've learned so much from just starting the podcast.
Mhm.
I've learned how to edit video, audio, started creating my thumbnails, so started using Canva to create
Mhm.
logos and all
Yeah.
these different things that a couple of years ago I didn't know I had.
Yeah. Because you were never told that you have a superpower. That's why I call art and creativity the superpower, inherent superpower that we have. And we are not told that. I mean, and now look at this insanity. 95 to 97% of worldwide artists on the poverty level line exist on the poverty level. They're all poor. 95 to 90. Can you imagine a world without art? So where's the logic in that? Where is in the logic when people make finish school from 100? I know it from the German speaking market because I talked to a professor. There's a key. There's 100 students that actually graduated with a degree of art. 3 people get in the arts. 97 don't get into arts. They work at a Kinko's or something. It's just 95 to, and that's what made me so crazy. And that's why I dove into this. I said, why is this? 3 or 4 years ago, I said, I can't handle it anymore. I can't understand something that saved me and made me feel so good and made you feel good, the creation, right? How can that be that people that just create art, which has no purpose, not they don't need a podcast or anything, they just think that this is always all of a sudden is not worthy or anything. And I found out it's also the artist's fault, because we from the first time art was actually engaged by humans, other than cave paintings. There were rich people. They say, hey, you guy, Mozart, you go and live in my castle and with your family, and you play me some music at night. And we've never defined ourselves. It was always the system, like the duke or the king, or then later, religion, or society or politics. We said, okay. They said, we want to have that window in the church. Okay, I can do it. And the church said, I pay you for this, and they were happy because they were already hooked on that creation. It's like a drug when you start creating, because what you are in God's, aligned with God or the universe or the matrix, whatever you want, because you're bringing the non-physical, the thought, the inspiration into the physical. And that's why that feels so good to you. To making that just a podcast and figuring things out and said, I could do thoughts, this, and create it in Canva and put it on YouTube. That's what, and it's just like, man, nobody can take that away from you. That is self-esteem and self-worth that you cannot. If I say, you can do it, you can do it. You did it. I cannot take that away. But if I say you're not good enough in a system, you go, right, shit, I'm flawed, because there's 10 other people that are better. But you are better than the all 10 people if you do something. Everybody is. So what we talked about before, we all are one. The power is that everybody contributes with their individuality. That is our power. It's not in being separated in race, sexuality, or gender. I look at people as humans. I look at a woman as being a human, because I don't want to go. Obviously, I'm aware she's a woman, but it doesn't matter. I look always behind the facade.
I don't judge people on sex, right, gender, whatever. I judge them on how they treat me and how they interact with me.
Exactly.
So if you treat me with the utmost respect and you talk to me the right way and we interact the right way, then that's how that's how I'm going to respond to you. The same way you treated me is how I will treat you. And that's how I was raised. My mom raised me that way. She raised me to not judge anyone and to be myself, but be respectful of other people. And then the moment that they disrespect you, then you move on. You don't then that person is not to be around. That they don't need to be in your life.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I agree with you. This is the only way to be. It's the only way to be. But I try to really look at the human. I really try not to look at anything the system tells me what, do not confirm it. Because if I come to very, if I see 3 Asian people and there's a stereotype about Asian or transgender people or gay people, and there's the stigma of them, I try not. I see them as human. So when I catch myself, if I go, my mind goes and confirms a stereotype. I go. Let me see. Look at the human behind it, because because even the worst person that you encounter that attacks you and whatever,
Yeah,
is disturbed because humanity is not it's benevolent. It's not. It's
it's funny. It's crazy because anyone can be good or bad. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
yeah,
matter who you are.
yeah,
Any person could be good or bad. It's the individual. You don't judge a group because of one individual.
yeah,
That person, just because that person might have treated you crappy, doesn't mean that all people like that are going to
yeah,
treat you that way. Or if this person, it to me, it's I go by the individual. I
yeah,
don't go by a group. That's not because I was raised differently.
yeah,
I was raised in Brooklyn, New York, and I was raised with people of all types of races, and I went to school with people from
yeah,
all over the world, and so I didn't, I've never seen color. It was always my friend. This is
yeah.
my friend, and it didn't matter where they were from. It's just it didn't matter to me, and that's again that's the upbringing that I've had.
And I had the contrary. I was brought up in the '60s in Vienna, in Austria, and I never saw colored people. I never saw, what I saw was white people. That's all I saw. And then I moved here to the United States. So all the stereotypes that systems gave me are very quickly dismissed because I found out these are just people that, I mean, how can that person, I supposed to have their, they're hard and angry and whatever. And I didn't see that. Or, whatever. It's just very, very interesting. Uh, how systems condition you, and then you find out that's not true. For example, I love gay girls. I think that is the funniest thing. And I mean, if I say generalization, I say I really like gay girls, because they're just funny. You can talk to a girl like you talk to a boy, and I think that's so funny. I said, oh, look at him or look at her. It's just a funny thing. And I never, I was looking, when I was young, I looked at gay weird, that it is weird, it's not normal because it was so Christian and hard. I wasn't angry at them or anything, but just, the condition, um, and you get that. And then, oh, and then you find out, and it's, what, it never feels bad. When you find out the truth, you feel okay. You feel okay. It's funny. It's not about my judgment. It's about you feel okay that we are all humans. You feel okay with that, and not saying, oh my God, now did I say he's a black guy? Oh, was it the right thing? Should I say African American? I just see you as a human. So this doesn't come to me anymore. But it always feels good when I feel that through all the podcasts I do, that we are all the same. I just love it, and also in the arts community, everybody counts. That project is important. We
Yeah,
all give our strengths to the project.
yeah. No, listen, and to me, everyone has their unique story. Everyone is different. Everyone
Yeah.
has experienced life differently, and they've had their situations. They've had things go on in their
Hmm.
lives, and so for me, it's just again, I'm surrounded by all types of people. I
Yeah.
grew up, like I said, I grew up around. So
Yeah.
again, to me, I've never seen color, and I have friends from in all types. I have white, black,
Yeah.
Chinese, Hispanic. It isn't, and I treat them the same way. I don't treat anyone more. I don't treat them any differently. I treat them the same way. Again, the same way they treat me.
And the funny thing is, don't you experience it? I mean, what I experience is, I'm now like, yeah, I'm in with everybody. I'm here in Southern California, but I'm with everybody and in artist community. So what I experienced, though, it's that from every race, from every segregation that systems programmed us to, the goods and bads,
Yeah,
and almost nothing fits the stereotype. It's funny. Almost nothing fits the stereotype. That's what I experienced, and then that makes me so feeling so good. I said, It's completely wrong. And then you learn to be like really out of the box. You learn to be, hey, this is system talk. This is you and I talking, right?
Yeah.
And do you have the same experience that there's good and bad in every, but
Of
they're not not at all the stereotypes.
no, it's like I said, there's good people and bad people in
Yeah.
in all groups.
Yeah.
There's not one more group that has more bad people than the other. There's
Yeah.
bad people in all walks of life, and
Yeah.
so, but for me, I don't focus on those people. I focus on the good people. I focus
Mhm.
on growing and
Yeah.
developing with the good people, the people
Yeah.
that the energy that I put out there, and that's what's key.
Yeah.
It's the people, you know, and you know what it is. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to show, I don't know, to show people, to show other people that
Hmm.
you're successful, or you, and when in all actuality the only person you really need to make happy is yourself.
Exactly.
It is you.
Hmm.
So to surround yourself around people that have accomplished or are accomplishing what you want to accomplish, that's what you need to do, is surround yourself around that energy, around those people that, if you want, like, it took me w- really deciding to press record, and now I've met some amazing people that are going to be friends for life,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we haven't even met
Yeah.
physically. We've only
Yeah.
talked online or whatever, but they're in other parts of the world, they're other parts of the
Yeah.
country, and to build these relationships and to be able to network with these people and learn from them, and same time share whatever little knowledge I have or whatever, and it's
Priceless.
amazing. Yeah, it's
Priceless.
price. It's
Nobody can pay for that.
no,
Put a price on that.
there's
How
no
can you
price.
put a price on that? There's no firm or system that can teach you that. It's just we humans have to get together. That's it. Even over Zoom, and it works. And that's the power. That's the power of human.
Yep.
You want to experience power? Don't worry about Nike and Apple. Learn the power. Start experience the power between humans. How much we uh, complete ourselves. When a word drops out of my mind, you fill it in. This mind, this mind melt that happens, and this is scientifically proven that when two people, you can see that, on some machine or whatever. You and I talk. Both our brains are changing. So
Uh,
we can't even avoid it. I can say no. I'm not changing my brain for you. I
no,
can't even do that.
no, and it is, it's conversation. That's what
Yeah,
it's
it's a
conversation.
superpower.
Yeah,
It,
it's conversation, and especially when you have a conversation with someone who's has the kind of same energy you have, someone
yeah,
who shares energy,
yeah,
not just hoards it, not just takes it. For some,
yeah,
to be able to conversate with someone where you're both just bouncing energy off each other,
yeah,
those are the best interviews, because you leave so charged up
yeah.
from those interviews,
Hmm.
because it was such a great conversation, and it was
Hmm.
such a great transference of energy, that, like, you can go, that'll keep you charged for the whole day.
Yeah, it's real. It's that what's real, and I think like with art, when you create the non-physical and the physical, when you have that dance with another human, you you feel humane. You feel actually the value that you have, that life has, this moment that we are. We're not thinking, oh, I need to go shopping or I need to talk to my wife. All of a sudden you have this dance, and all of a sudden you feel like this human power. You feel that, and that keeps you charged up, because you recognize, like a wound heals itself, when you cut yourself.
Yeah.
It's almost like the soul adjusts and says, okay, this is where you want to be, this is where you want to be, and you don't stop doing it, you just keep doing it. And that's different than passion. Passion you can have for something, but this is more the experience from being human, the
It,
joy of life.
yeah, no, it gives, this is giving me my purpose. This is really
Exactly.
it's giving me what I'm meant to for here to do, and I'm here to help
Yeah.
people. I'm here to share a message and share my voice that
Mhm.
I didn't know I had. Like to me, I would listen to myself and I'm like, oh, I sound horrible. And
Yeah.
then to someone else, and I'll say that comment to them, and they'll be like, boy, what's wrong with you? Like, are you
Yeah.
serious? They're
Yeah.
like, dude, you have a radio voice. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. They're like, you sound good. Why? And again, it's all in your head.
Yeah.
It's you. It's your self doubts.
Yeah, that system, if you don't sound like a super, like Barry White, you're not good. Like it's that system thing that we're so conditioned that we're very self-conscious always. Always. We're always self-conscious because the system the system have a little function. We are very diverse, but system have a little so it's easy to be perfect in that little function, like a calculator or whatever, versus we, calculate in our brains. And so what happens is we feel always, especially we work very much in system and derive our value out of system. So if I'm good in systems, then I must be valuable. But you are valuable. Look at nature. You are valuable because you exist, not because you're good in a system or you're a good system navigator. There's nature. What is nature? What is the strengths of nature? That the ant and the elephant are the same. They are not better. The elephant is not better because it's more beautiful and bigger. It's they
It
both
serves its
exist.
purpose. Yeah, it
They
serves
have
its
their
purpose.
purpose, and they
Yeah.
know their purpose. They do their purpose, like you do your podcast, like me being the guest. We do our job, and therefore we are valuable. And no human is lazy. This is a consistent conditions too. I found that out too. Even the guy that lays all in a corner and doesn't do anything or gets drunk, he has his purpose. We are just not aware of his purpose because he wouldn't exist in nature if you think, oh, it's a fungus on a tree. What is that worth?
And
No,
and
that
no,
has
and
a
again, and yeah, and that goes with everyone here is here to learn their lessons. Everyone has life
exactly.
lessons to
Yeah,
learn, and and again, whatever that person is going through or whatever they're doing, that is the lesson they're supposed to be learning.
exactly.
And everything that's happened in my life, and every tragedy and everything bad that's happened on, and everything that's good has happened was it was meant to happen.
Yeah,
It was gonna happen regardless. This was meant for me to learn from these
experience.
experiences.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So yes, everyone has their purpose. Everyone, and to us it might be like, wow, he's just wasting his life or
Yeah.
whatever. But that might be the lesson he has to learn at this point.
And he learns it for all of us. Perhaps his drug addiction helps me not getting addicted or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to judge something, yeah, and the judgment, I think it's not, you shouldn't judge that. It made never sense to me because you're aware of things, I couldn't say, oh, I think you're white. I couldn't say that, and that doesn't mean I judge you because my reptilian brain is seeing, is has to put you in a context. Because if you are a saber-toothed tiger and they want to attack me, I need to know that. So therefore, I need to be aware if you're a woman, man, whatever I can be aware of. But we are not aware of the drunk that on the bottom that he actually, in the second effect, prevents me or for you to be drunk. Or
Yeah,
how
because
many thousand
because
people?
you look at him, yeah, you look at that person, you're like, yeah, I can't be that way, and it's
Exactly.
happened. It's me seeing my brother high on drugs made me not want to do drugs. Like it's like seeing him go through that experience is
Yeah.
something like I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna touch that. That's something I will never touch in my life
Yeah.
because I saw what it did to him.
Yeah.
And so he had to experience it for himself, and I witnessed it because it was something I had to experience to realize
Yeah.
that I'm not gonna ever do that because I
Yeah.
know what it's done to those that I love.
Yeah. And the weirdest things, we all have our own story, but that own story contributes to the whole. So the whole, so whatever you do, you might, the people might be, little kids hear you and they like your voice for whatever reason, or they like what I say or whatever. And they say, "Oh, I want to do my own podcast." It's we help each other along, and the relation to relate to each other is the most, it's the strongest, it's the strongest power, that you actually step in your power.
Yeah.
Because if you wouldn't hear you or me or something else, you wouldn't have never known. Because the problem is with humanity, if you don't know, you don't know. It's just there's no, see, there we are actually like systems. If the system can do it, it can do it, right? But if the humans doesn't know it, it doesn't know it. So to say you're stupid because you don't know a vocabulary or the thing is just bullshit. You don't know it. If you can't handle that somebody else doesn't know, then you need to go in yourself and understanding and not knowledge, because that's what humans do. We don't know, and our systems, we have humans to humans. We use that double-sided mirror of systems. We have to make ourselves not to know a lot. So to name no, yes, knowledge. But what does knowledge help you? You need to have wisdom. Wisdom is experience based. So if you haven't experienced, what you just told me about the podcasting, that's wisdom. So you can't learn that with knowledge. I can write 10 books and say, yeah, when you have a thing, you think all humans are even. No, you have to experience that all humans are even and equal in their uniqueness, not equal to the system. Yeah. Not that you raise a person up, and fill your, like, doesn't matter. Fill the whole house with men because there are too many women, or vice versa. It doesn't. You got to do a job, and that job needs to be done by the best humans that you can, not by the best segregation that you can combine. Yeah. I mean, and you see that it backfires you then always, because first it was white people, and now Asian people. Now the white people feel upset about the Asian people being smarter than the white people. So in systems, it only happens in system anyway. So it's always something, and it always is friction. So it's hey, we are human. We have this problem. We need to solve it. What can we do? Let's get our heads together. Boom, and finished. All that talk about who is who, where's where, it's all a waste of energy.
Yeah.
And it has no meaning, it's artificial meaning, because we have what really is, but currency, money is not the currency. It's the meaning that we give to a Ferrari or whatever we buy with a house. Yeah. So systems sell us meaning. For example, I think $6 billion, the dating industry. So something that we could do ourselves, date each other or whatever, we now go through system, and then everybody makes money. But it's crazy. We learn how to be human through a system which is limited. So we need to learn through conversation, discourse. I mean, I think speed dating is 10 times better than online dating, because you get a feel, you get so much more information. Sitting next to a person, you can just sense it. Is there chemistry here or whatever?
Yeah, right? Instead of over a computer. Yeah,
computer. I mean, but $6 billion. You know what we could do with that $6 billion to humanity?
But again, it's those are. I don't knock it. I don't knock anybody who implemented that system.
I don't either. Because I'm just saying they're crazy.
No, I understand. I get it. But it's again, it's people. Now is the time. Like right now is the time to really be into the arts and digital content and creation and all that, because and that's one of the reasons I started I launched my internet radio station was to give podcasters and other shows an opportunity to air their shows and not have to worry about being pulled off of online, or their content was too much and they didn't want. And so I just want to give people opportunity to be themselves, express themselves. Like, I have a show on my internet radio station that their political views are completely opposite of mine. But I do believe in giving the people that opportunity to voice their opinions and be themselves, because there's people who think like them. So they have a message that they want to share. Who am I to say that their message is wrong?
No, and it's not right or wrong. There is, right or wrong is basically that you, as a human,
disagree with something. Yeah.
Disagree with something, and that you balance yourself out, Yeah. Because if I see that I'm really against your political views, I'm not saying you're an asshole. What I'm saying is, what is this in me that is getting me emotional, so upset? What is it in me? Because you are just a reflection of me. I look at everybody that I meet as a reflection of me. And the worst people I meet, the worst I know I am, because I'm attracting those people, and so I work over. I see everything as a reflection. I don't look at it as good, bad, right, or wrong. I just see it as, okay, that's in my life for a reason, like we talked. And the power is the freedom of speech is so important. Not to use freedom of speech like calling fire in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Not using to wreak havoc, but the freedom of speech is to experience the power of humanity. And when you see that we have all the democracies, there's only 6% of all states are democracies. That makes me frightened.
And it's funny because with what just happened with Roe versus Wade, and I haven't discussed this on any other show or anything because I don't like to get political. But to me, it's funny because you're up in arms over your Second Amendment right to bear arms, but yet you're dictating to states that they can do whatever they want with women's bodies. That they can tell women, oh, you can't, you need to have this baby. They don't know the circumstances of why this woman is getting the abortion. They don't know. Maybe it might take her life. It might be the baby might be born. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the reasoning. The point is, it's their body. It's their choices. It's their life experience that they have to experience. Who is anyone to say that no, you can't abort that life?
Yeah. Or you need the jab. It's the same thing. Or you need to.
You need to get you need to get vaccinated.
Yeah, that's as much if I like vaccination or not. It doesn't matter. I would never force anybody to have something on the most sacred is your body. That's your most sacred part. Yeah, it's not your brain, it's your body. And to have a system that is limited, that now we come again to this, to have impact on your life, meaning, for example, systems are here. Remember, we talked about safety, peace, that we can be together, that we can share. And here we kill, in the first 4 months, we kill 75,000 soldiers in the war of Ukraine and Russia. And still, Syria is still going on. We don't talk about Syria because we talk about what we are fed. We are fed by the media. Okay, Ukraine, now it's gone. Let's talk about it's summer holidays. Let's talk about anything. But we allow systems to be over. I think the death penalty, it doesn't matter if you're the most rotten person in the world. A system that is created from humans, that wasn't created by God, has no power, or the Matrix, or whatever you believe. I'm not religious. You have no right to to extinguish something that you haven't created. You can trash a car, you can trash a house, but you have no right to kill something and destroy something that you haven't created. And in that is also our environment, nature. You can't just exploit nature and say, oh, I don't give a shit about the next generation. Screw them. I get through everything, after me. If the world destroys itself.
Yeah, of course, because right now we're
that's an arrogance,
Yeah, because we're in a instant gratification. Like right now, we're all about right now.
Yeah.
Screw our grandkids.
Yeah.
Like
Who
forget them.
cares?
We're not
Who
gonna be
cares?
around.
Yeah.
We don't care about that. And yet, it's crazy. Like I read somewhere or heard somewhere where they were talking about the gas prices. That the gas price, the price of oil was the same price it was last year. Well, the only reason that the gas prices is off the roof is because these companies are price gouging us. They're charging us a ridiculous amount when they're still paying the same prices from last year. They're still, their oil prices haven't changed, but they're using the war in Ukraine to say that, oh, let's raise the gas prices.
Yeah.
There's a war right now, so we need to like.
But we deliver now to Germany and all those countries. America delivers, so it makes more money. We deliver now what Russia doesn't deliver. I mean, this is not like, oh, Russia is close, we have it. No, we are supplying over there, and that's also probably why it's here expensive too, because there's a shortage.
There is no, but that's the thing. There is no shortage. We're the number one producer of oil.
Yeah.
The United States, people, we are the number one producer of oil.
Yeah. But it's this is system talk. We're talking in what systems do.
They're gonna
and it's always limited. It's not the truth.
They're gonna put out what benefits them.
Exactly.
They're not gonna put out what
because there's humans on the other side, and we are limitless. And so I create something. So I come in power. I create a new tax, right? So my people that have kids and need to pay their food and all this stuff, they need to be the best that they can be, that I can get that tax hike to the people. And then we, the other side, also humans, get the best tax lawyer or the best whatever to navigate the system. So basically, it's human against human. And for what? For nothing. For the people that run the systems. That's the people that run the system have also, they can get more from the adaptability of humanity. They can't, because the system works because humans adapt to them, not because systems adapt to them. Look at the freaking cell phone of yours. You have to put 17 switches to pick up the phone, before you just picked up the handle. That was fine, So we adapt to systems, we adapt to computer, we adapt to Zoom, we adapt to everything so they can be successful.
Yeah.
When there's no humans, there's no systems. We don't need systems and we don't need wars. It's completely, and I've never seen a human that says, I want war, unless he's so brainwashed. But I've never seen that. Not Hitler, not the First World War, not Vietnam, not Korea. No human wants war. It's systems that need to survive. It's the survival of systems, and they need to create something to keep the Jews going.
They need to create havoc and
exactly.
and disorder so that the people can be distracted.
Yeah, distraction. Exactly.
And that's what it is.
And we all know it.
Yeah, and especially now with what we're fed through the media and all the nonsense and everything. So it's just time that people just wake up. Stop watching the news so much. Stop watching TV. Go out and enjoy life. Go out, like right now. Yeah. We're stuck on binge watching movies and TVs and programming and all that. We're not going outside and taking a deep, fresh breath of air.
Yeah.
Like we're stuck home doing nothing, binge watching whatever your favorite Netflix show is, whatever. And that's how they get it. Instead of us being more active
Yeah.
outside, out in the community, going out and learning about nature and going. And that's one of the reasons I moved my family. We moved from New York City to the mountains of Pennsylvania, because it's so much peaceful. It's
Beautiful.
so much more just tranquility. And so to be able to enjoy that, it's just I don't regret the move whatsoever.
Yeah. No, because nature, especially if you have kids, nature makes them aware of the animalistic side. We are part of nature. We are not part of nature. We are part of nature, and there's almost no argument about this. It's we have our sexual urges. We have we are completely a part of it. We just specialized. Our brain is specialized, but we don't see as well as an eagle. And that habitat brings you always back into nature, into your humanity. That's where the power is. But we don't even talk about humans. We don't talk. We're talking about this person, this person, this person. We don't talk about, hey, he's human. He's probably disturbed. And we don't teach humans how life works. Because if I would have been taught that life isn't just what the system says it's supposed to be, sunny and beautiful, everything should hunky dory. And if it's not, you got to buy that pill, you got to buy that Ferrari, you got to buy that coat, you got to buy that jewelry. That's ridiculous. It is not supposed to. So you will be shamed right away from beginning of your birth, that if you don't have a perfect life, there's something wrong with you.
And that's
it's a line, it's a
but
Babylonian
but and it's funny because they have regular people who believe in that these millionaires and all these other people are wearing this brand and wearing
Yeah,
that brand, when they're not actually buying any of that. All
yeah,
that Gucci, that Prada, and all that. They're not marketing it to the wealthy. They're marketing it to the
to
regular
the
people,
poor.
because they're trying to say, hey, if you wear this, you're
You're all that.
you're all
Yeah,
that, you're all there. Then like, you watch Mark Zuckerberg, he wears a t-shirt and jeans.
yeah. It's crazy. And they're not happy either. See,
No,
this is the same. What I'm saying is, we humans are really screwing ourselves majorly, because even if you go in the system and you make it, you marry your husband, you have 2 kids or 3, and they go all to university. The husband makes enough money, he's a doctor or whatever, and you have all that stuff. And all of a sudden you're like 50, 55, and you realize, I'm not happy. I have done everything. I have the golden retriever. I have everything. I have the Porsche. I have everything. Why am I not happy? And the thing is, if you're not happy in a system, what does the system say? And this also people don't know. It's your fault. Because according to the system, if you have all that, there must be something wrong with you. So buy something else, an antidepressant. See, it's just like, you can never win for losing in systems. That's why I say the millionaire or the poorest person, if you derive your value out of the system, like having a lot of money or being all that or being the superstar, you lose. You are ultimately losing, perhaps for a short time, like you say, short time instant gratification, but on the long run, you're losing. Because if you're not happy, and you see that with people dying, billionaires that die, and there's a lot of research on that, a lot of different research on that, but it all comes out the same. Nobody says, I wish I made another billion. Nobody says, I wish I would have taken over Apple. Nobody says, I wish I would have had 10 more cars or 10 better wives or whatever. Everybody says, I wish I would have hung out with my family more. I wish I would have been my best friend. We hardly saw each other. I wish I would have, be with my dog. I left my dog so long. I mean, that's what billionaires say. You know, they didn't say, "Hey, I wish I would have taken over the world. I mean, I know now, you know, I own a quarter of the world. I wish I would have more." Nobody says that. So everything from every corner you look, it's about humanity. It's about our environment that has value. I'm talking what has worth for us, not, you know, the value that systems derives. Communication, podcasts, discourse, healthy discourse, and seeing that the power as a whole is in humanity. And you're looking for it's in here, it's not out there. You are part of you are part of me. That's, if you see the world like that, poof, poof, you feel good being you. You feel good in your skin.
Yeah, you do. But Michael, this has been great. I love having you on the show. This has been a great conversation. Like, look, we almost did an hour.
anytime, buddy.
But now is the time for you to plug away. Let people know where they can find your books, where they can find you, everything.
Yeah. With all that we talked about, and I urge everybody to listen to this a couple of times, because it's very thought-provoking what we created here. I think, you know, I have a podcast, but which is not a podcast. It's basically a 30-second spot twice a week, and it's just a quote and a question, and it comes out twice a year. I have about 75 now or something. Yeah. And it's programmed till a long time. So it's always my newest wisdom from my books also, and how to find art, the value of art. It not from a system defined, not because a system defined is a product, you know, like a painting is a product. So it's the power of art that actually the creation that you and I talked about with the pot creating.
Yeah.
If you want to know this, if you want to like art more double as much at least as you'd love it now, or creation more than you'd love it now, listen to the Smart of Art podcasts, or go to michaelm.com, which is Michael with 2 L's, michaelm.com, and all my social, everything. You can contact me, and we change the world. That's how we do.
All right, Mike, that was great. Don't leave just yet, Michael. Just hold on one second. But now it is time for shout outs. Big shout out to my Real Wise fam, Bobby J, Brandy J. Love you guys. Big shout out to the boss lady, Fina. Love you, baby. A big shout out to our guest, Michael McGroot, for being on the show. And as always, a big shout out to all the essential workers out there. God bless y'all. Be safe. You know your boy Wise does it. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Listen on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, and TuneIn. Find us on social media on Twitter at @wise_b_blunt, Instagram at @wise_b_blunt, and a Facebook fan page, www.facebook.com/wise76. Check back soon for new episodes. Until next time, peace out.